Well, thank you so much for staying with us. And if you have just joined us, you're watching SA Decides, brought to you by ANN7. My name is Audrey Chimwanda. In the first half of the debate, I had my panelists with me. We spoke of corruption, we spoke of service delivery and how the two issues are affecting each other. In the second half of the debate, we go to the floor now, where we have members of different political parties as well as residents from Amajuba municipality who will be posing their questions and concerns to my panelists. Where do we start from? Where's the microphone?
The question I want to raise to the ANC mayoral candidate. We know that ever since you took power, there has been a building of huge houses, the low cost in particular. Now one would imagine that there will be your economic opportunities for the people in the area. Now ngizama ukuchecka ke Nkosi ukuthi mhlambe bangakanani abantu abahlomlile inhlelweni zenu. Lokhu include emgwaqeni yakhile eminingi esiyibonile siyibongayo. Nemithuba namathuba wokubring ama-foreign direct investors la njengoba sazi ukuthi iCarbochem has just extended izo-employer more people. Nemital, though there are issues, but you know khona izinto ezenzakalayo to employ more people. Ma umuntu uzama ukuchecka ukuthi wena as a mayoral candidate ANC, one kulama-RDP houses akhekile mangakho amathuba emsebenzi azoba akhona noma asazoba khona ngoba nisazokwakhe ezinye siyakwazi lokho nanokuthi ke nje sesivala enake inhlelweni zenu for abantu abasha ngoba bayi-majority yabantu eNewcastle yikuphi Nkosi ngiyayibongela
kwakuphethe abantu besifazane lapha ababengamameya ayikaze ilahleke imali kodwa kwangena umuntu wesilisa la wendoda la kwadliwa u10.5 umgangela namhlanje na ongakaze uze utholakala manje nake uyembatha ijazi uyabona baba ongalazi elikhulu kunawe okwesibili ke baba uNkosi ayike mhlambe ikuphi ozokwenzela mhlawumbe iyouth yethu la eMajuba njengoba kubonakala ukuthi iqembu elisemandleni la liqasha ngokwepolitiki alinandaba nabantwana abangabefelokazi alinandaba nabantwana abazintandane.
We have, as a municipality, created a database for all our SMMEs. And the database is all-inclusive. It's not created along political affiliation. We have deliberately made it to be biased towards youth and women. Out of all these houses that have been built, if I can give you a list, also in Section E, Phase 3, we built 670 houses. Also in Section E, Phase 2, 1,240. Charlestown, we are coming with 1,200. Siahlala, the contractor is going on Friday. We are going to be establishing the site. 1,205 houses. Katite, 2,000 houses. It's in progress. Emawozeni, 142. It's the model RDP house that you have ever seen. We have never seen it anywhere. JPC Phase 1, 2001, JPC Phase 2 and 3, Ward 15, 16 and 18, 7,500 houses are coming up there. But this is just to mention a few, without having mentioned the road construction that is taking place. We appoint the main contractor and then we subcontract in terms of your plumbers and your other subsidiary work. The incubation program that we have started has assisted us to help and develop our youth such that they have been able now to even start actually entering into the mainstream economy. Some of them are currently, as we are speaking, on grade 3 and above. Therefore, we are moving towards that. We still agree that there's still so much to be done, but with the opportunities that are there, we still believe we are going to still assist them. That will be in terms of youth empowerment. I'm going to establish a desk which is going to be called a stakeholders desk. The main and the primary function of that desk would be to actually engage various stakeholders and find out from them how can they help us as Newcastle municipality to implement our policies as the ANC. We want them to be part and parcel of what we want to do. We don't want to think for them. We want to think together with them. We are going to accommodate the gentleman that has spoken after you, Nkosi. Bring all the IFP youth. We are going to include them. We will bring PA youth. Bring everybody. We are going to include them. And then coming to the second gentleman, I can see, I hear that you are saying that the jacket is too big for me. I don't know what are you trying to say. I don't want to be personal here, but all I'm saying is that in terms of qualifications, I'm adequately qualified. In terms of experience, I'm adequately experienced. In terms of skill, I'm adequately skilled. So, and I'm coming with the administration that will have integrity, honesty, and uphold values. Make no mistake about that. On the issue of the 10.3, I think even a child has heard my explanation. I'm not going to waste time for you, ma'am.
No, I just want to check with the DA with regard to their race police or racist police. We've been apparently recently as an ANC we've welcomed so many number of councillors from the DA crying that they are not treated correct as black people within the DA. So we've been hearing some very serious bad news regarding the members of the DA treating black people without respect. And we haven't heard anything from the DA saying condemning such issues. So sinenkinga racism that is within the DA, and the DA is not saying anything about that. So we want to know what is your position as the DA with regard to these racist issues that are happening in South Africa, because you've been quiet for quite some time about these issues.
For the IFP, sir? The
question around the issue IFP is that the IFP has been here for quite some time. Yeah, and there are so many things that are wrong that involves the corruption in Machuba. And as IFP will assist us, because they are the part and parcel of the corruption that was happening in Machuba. So they cannot be trusted.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Pumdan Gwabe. I'm from Matateni. If you're actually a partner, listen to Kumazo Baba, Utin Zakile, in Alenambo Ishoy. I'm a main bedroom as a code, I'm a faga queen, is spaces pelil. So we should have Gabizons into SM Kanga twin. And that's from 2006. I was in ANC maybe from 1984. I was 13 years of age. That's from 2006. Still being ANC la pitate kona umaspala la imajuba. Ogwegwa ngiphatha kabi ukuthi sonke isikhathi ANC is keep on promising people while the election is close. After all, uma ngabe ukuthi isifikile lo election yandlula lezi thembiso abayisebethembisile ayisekho. Njengamanje msenkosi sithembisa something ukuthi endosenza lokhu nalokhu. Njengoba iANC kuyiyona esemagunyeni, yindaba ingavidani kwenze njengamanje waphela yiyona esemagunyeni iANC ngiyabonga.
Bengisacela ukubuza lapha kubaba uBhali ukuthi njenge candidate naye elika SLKT welkhethwe umphakathi, bengicela ukubuza ukuthi ikuphi angasiza ngakho intsha njengoba intsha ingaka ingasebenzi.
Let me be one of those voices that condemn racism in this country. We need to deal with it head on. We need to ensure that anybody that is involved in any act of racism is brought to book in South Africa, and that we condemn such people. Also, when I speak of opportunistic racism, let it not be that we have a political party that uses it as a means to keep people in South Africa, black and white, hating each other because of race. And I make that accusation directly at the ANC, who uses this opportunistically to meet their ends, keep South Africans divided, keep people hating each other, instead of bringing the South Africans together. We need to address the issues of redress in particular. We understand that we come from a racist past. We come from an unjust past. We come from apartheid. In the new South Africa that we have, we know that much has been done, and we know that much has to be achieved. But we cannot achieve that if we are going to keep people divided rather than bringing people together.
I will start by age 39. It's about 16 years, age 39, this is now informal settlement. Nothing has happened there. They just try to do something because it's towards election. It's because now there's a discrimination on that. It's 16 years, age 39, living in shacks. So it's a disgrace. 16 years, you may count. Secondly, let me respond to the Amajuba under the mayoral of IFP, Dr. M.S. Mlangeni. He was the best mayor ever seen at Amajuba. You see, when you talk about youth programs, they were very vibrant for everybody. And then not youth programs only, even the elderly people, the farmers around Newcastle, Amajuba, everybody received projects through Dr. Mlangeni. To crown it all, you know what happened? If you can go to Amajuba today, they are running the municipality, you see now, without money.
But if he was the best mayor this municipality has ever seen, why is he not governing till this day?
You see, I told you from the beginning that it happened that the NFP deflected from us towards the elections. That's what happened. But in terms of good governance, he was the best mayor. To crown it all, it was the AG that proves him to have a clean audit. There is no other tool that you can use to say the municipality, how is it run. But through AG report, Dr. Mlangeni received a clean audit. So this is a hatred on daily basis, because they are jealous that nobody can compare to IFP. Just compare it now. Nothing is happening at Amajuba district. It's a disgrace.
Right. Councillor Nkosi, questions from the floor, unfulfilled promises. I know you've given us a long list of all the achievements that you have made in this municipality. There's still a number of people who are disenchanted.
Thank you very much. We need to bring it to the attention of those that may not be aware that when H39 happened, the IFP was in power and they did nothing about it. We also need to bring it to attention that when we took over Amajuba, we took over a bankrupt municipality that used all the money in their corrupt ways. We can't take pride. You can't take pride in a clean audit, which clean audit has not been working towards the improvement of the life of the people. You can't take pride in clean audit where the government money has been used to buy t-shirts for the IFP. So you can't pride yourself with that kind of clean audit. The gentleman, I think, is Mguni. Perhaps you have to understand the policy behind the RDP houses. That is meant for people who are earning below a threshold. People, our poor people, so to speak, for the lack of a better word, and with all respect. And you can understand that a person who's allocated in RDP house is a person who's at a level of actually establishing himself. We're giving that person security, we're giving that person a dignity. I think where we are lacking in terms of public education. We need to educate our people how government processes unfold. When we say we are going to build houses, we must understand the processes. That Department of Human Settlement in the province will expect us to submit the application. They will do a due diligence. And then if it's approved, the government is very clear. You can't go and build houses without infrastructure. We must have the infrastructure there, water, sewer, electricity, and everything. Because if you go and put up structures without infrastructure, it's going to frustrate the people. What is happening is government says the infrastructure must be 80% complete before we can start building. That is why it's taking a bit of time after we've committed to hit the ground. Like Siatlala, not nothing has happened. So much has happened. They know themselves. It's been going for 18 months.
So the government is delaying the process.
No.
Who is the government?
It's not the government. We have to have these processes. We have to have these processes. You know, you can't just say you want to build a house and go and build a house. You must.
Is there a way of alleviating all this red tape that's constricting you?
These are not red tapes. These are not red. These are compliance issues.
Compliance issues, are they?
Yes.
Perhaps not taking too long?
We understand.
If the demand is increasing for these houses.
Look, there's one thing that we must acknowledge. This issue of housing will not go away overnight. I think what these guys should be doing, they should be assisting us in terms of improving where we can improve, rather than just to lambast us. You know.
Yes, you may.
I've heard a lot of excuses now. The red tape, you're right, it's red tape. The provincial competences that are required for these houses, the province has the ability And those competencies that lie within the municipality, they have the ability to repeal those. We've done it in the Western Cape, where we've stood with a shredder and shredded those. We've repealed it to the point that we are able to speed up service delivery. So that's one thing.
Skewed service delivery though, eh?
Astute service delivery.
Skewed.
It's not skewed service
Skewed
delivery.
towards the colors
How-
of their whites.
And then the second thing regarding those houses, you can't tell us that you are going to build houses on a continuous basis when there are no housing lists available. They tell us there's a housing list available, but people sitting here won't be able to see where they are. The other thing is the councillors are involved in allocating those houses, like councillors allocate EPWP jobs. Where's the list and why are councillors involved? The problem is,
Yes,
no, he's saying there's a list.
We will not be, if,
No,
if
he's-
we did not
can
have
I
the
say
list,
something? He's
if we
saying
did
there's
not
a
have
list,
the list,
but
we would not
we've
be able
asked
to
for
say
that list.
that.
We've asked for that list at
Currently,
provincial level, and it has never been forthcoming.
Let's hear what he says
The
about the
MEC
list.
of Human
Councillor.
Settlement
Telling you,
Inclusive has not provided the list
we
in
know
any
what
municipality.
we know what we are doing. We know what we are doing. We cannot just start building houses not knowing what the current target is. We
No, you know
we
that.
know exactly what the list, and the list keeps on growing every day. But we know who came first, and we're giving in terms of priority.
So you have a clear record of who's coming first and
Yes.
whoever
That
else
is
is
an
coming
allegation.
after the list is done.
We do have the list. It's been compiled for since
Show it to us.
1999 or so. The
We
list
want
is
to
there.
see.
And that is how we allocate houses.
How do people see this list?
How do they
is it
see
for
that?
public
We want to see
consumption, or is it just for
No.
the ruling party?
Any municipal document, particularly administrative documents, are for public consumption.
Okay.
Any person who wants to have a copy of the list is more than welcome to approach Department
There
of
you
Human
have
No.
it.
Settlement.
Let's get more questions
Audrey,
from the
you know,
floor.
Audrey-
I'll come back to you, Doctor. We have to get a few questions from the floor before we come back.
Mr. Kika, I would like to know, how are you going to help the farm dwellers? Because here we've got Mr. Haneke Meyer, who is a former coach of the Amapogopogo. He has camped the people and he has put them inside the game reserve. What are you saying about that? Because he's a member of a DA. We've got Mr. Mula on the road when you go to Memel. On your right there, he has put the security at the gate, and he's got a letter. Unfortunately, I was looking for that letter in my car. I couldn't find it, but I can bring it to you. He has written down that he doesn't want visitors for the people. If you go into the farm, you must actually produce a license. And if you don't produce the license, the security must kick you out. And that man is a member of DA by the name of Mula. Now, what are you saying about these people here? You see, he says I must go and tell them. What are you going to say about that? What are you going to do about those people who are suffering?
My name is again Charles, and I'm proud to say
You will have to speak about
I'm
this.
proud to say I'm part of the DA, the most diverse political party in the country. I want to agree with Honorable Nkosi. The ANC don't make promises, they make empty promises, which is they're doing again with elections. I would like to ask my question to Dr. Kika. What will the DA be doing with regards to municipal services, and whatever this is going to have to prove that they will be delivering municipal services for us?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your questions. Unfortunately, that's all the time we had for questions from the floor. See, I'm joking. So much excitement happening here at Amajuba Municipality in Newcastle. We now have to get closing remarks from our panelists, as well as to get them to answer questions that have come from the floor. Very quickly, let me start with Azapo for now. Mr. Bohale, would you like to respond to any of the questions that may not necessarily have been for your party, but just your general overview of all the issues that we've discussed today, and also your closing remarks?
Yeah, the first issue is the issue that was raised by a gentleman who was sitting there, Mr. Nkosi, who actually said that we are insensitive. We are saying to him, we are not sensitive. If we are saying that the debts that are being owned by our own people must be scrapped by municipality,
yes, sir.
Practically we are saying that the debts that are being owned by our people must be scrapped. That's the first thing. And secondly, there is this issue of the land. The land that was taken to us by force. Now, there are those who are saying now that we must buy that land. We are saying it is impossible for black people to want them to buy land, whereas that particular land was taken by force from them. They were moved to Bantu stands and the land was taken. That's another issue that is not true. And another issue which I want to raise here, you see, Amkatrada said that tell no more lies and claim no easy victories. Now, you see, as I have said earlier on, you can't come here and brag on issues that are supposed to be done by municipality in any way. For instance, it is the responsibility of municipality to build houses for the people. It's not something that you can come here and say you have built houses. What is that? It's a lie and it's an electioneering statement which is not acceptable.
Well, thank you for those remarks. Let's go to the IFP now. Closing remarks from Councillor Ndima and any of the questions that may have been directed to you.
Thank you very much, viewers at home. My dear fellow South Africans, I kindly request you to vote for the party with integrity, honestly, accountability and transparency on the 3rd of August. Vote for IFP, you will see a great difference. We have a good track record. We believe in honesty. We don't want to buy vote with empty promises.
Thank you, IFP, the Democratic Alliance. Dr. Imran Kika, your few questions came from the floor for you. Yes. If you can respond to those in closing remarks as well.
At the outset, I must say that the Democratic Alliance is committed to constitutional values. We are committed to the freedom of South Africans, fair policies, and equal opportunity for all South Africans. So when it comes to the land policies, we are committed to what the Constitution says of the equitable and legal distribution of land in terms of Section 25 of the Constitution. That gentleman that raised the issue of the farmers was the same councillor that punched one of the farmers in the nose and said to him that he's going to take his land. The farmer was afraid to give me an affidavit or lay charges against him, but it is now public knowledge. With regards to the issues raised about councillors, there's a difference between ANC councillors and DA councillors. There's an issue raised about one of the councillors from the Democratic Alliance. The difference between our councillors and the Democratic Alliance councillors, the Democratic Alliance councillors and any other councillor in the country, is that we have performance agreements which we adhere to. And that is why we have some of those sour grapes now sitting in the ANC, bleating about all sorts of things instead of having performed when they were councillors. We don't provide bodyguards for councillors that are not performing. We get rid of them. Here there is a councillor sitting present who the residents of the ward threatened to burn the house down. The governing party supplied bodyguards instead of changing that councillor. So that is the difference. Regarding municipal services, as I said to you before, and regarding all other services in South Africa, we are a party committed to creating more jobs for all South Africans based on freedom, fairness and opportunity, delivering equitable services and proper services, including every area and every part of South Africa without distinguishing on the lines of color or privilege. And we are the only party that has shown that we have rooted out corruption, deal with it effectively and decisively, and we are the only party in South Africa that has shown that where we govern, nobody else by this government's own municipal and provincial and national markers has shown that we govern the best. 9 out of the 10 best governed municipalities in South Africa are those governed by the Democratic Alliance, which is something that is a cherry on top of the cake that no other political party can point a finger to us in that regard.
Dr. Kika, thank you for your closing remarks. And now over to the governing party in this municipality. Councillor Nkosi, questions that were referred to you as well as closing remarks.
I would like to respond to Councillor Buhali. I find some contradiction in what he says. In his opening remarks, he said that as the Azapo government, they promised that they are going to build houses and so forth. And when we say that, he says, no, we can't brag about that. it is our responsibility to build houses. Exactly what he says they are going to do. He's bragging about that, but he says we can't brag about it. He's saying that it's a lie. I think he does not understand what a lie is. A lie is to tell something that has not happened and claim it has happened. We are not telling a lie. We have built houses. The IFP, there's one thing that the IFP has never explained to the people of Newcastle. All the townships that were under KwaZulu government, you start in Esikaweni, you go to Ngwelezane, you go to Umlazi, you go to Wamashu, you come to Nkanyezine, you come to Vryheid, you come to Dandi, you come to Glencoe, the small. All those townships have got tarred roads. They were all tarred during the time of KwaZulu government. But only Matate and Unosizweni don't have TARs. They don't have TAR. We don't understand what happened. What offense did the people of Newcastle commit to the IFP that made them not to be to have their streets tarred by the IFP at that time? But that will be a topic for another day. In conclusion, I would like to say the following. The ANC under my leadership in Newcastle will ensure the visionary, responsible and accountable leadership. As I've already mentioned, we are going to govern with integrity, honesty and will uphold the highest moral value standards. We are going to improve the outcome, the audit outcomes. As I've mentioned, the 5-year has been very difficult for us in terms of audit outcomes. I make a commitment that we are going to improve the audit outcomes. We may not have a clean audit in the first year, but we are going to get there. We are going to improve performance, both in terms of officials and in terms of councillors. Okay. Councillors must actively service their people. They must not run away from them.
All right.
In conclusion,
I would like
to
wrap it up now.
In conclusion, I'm going to say, as the ANC, we have the track record of service delivery. We are very proud of ourselves. Yeah. We're proud. We are very proud with humility. And we are saying to the people of Newcastle, we are not here to serve ourselves, we are here to serve the people. And please, on the 3rd of August, continue. Let's go and extend that contract. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your closing remarks. I think when all is said and done, the people of this municipality will be deciding on the 3rd of August which party they will be voting for. I had with me the ANC, the Democratic Alliance, the IFP and ZAPO. Very important members from different political parties, residents of this municipality who again were very enthusiastic. I just have one question for them. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to decide on the 3rd of August? And there you have it. That's all the time we had for SA Decides. Our next stop is eThekwini municipality. Be sure to watch that in the next coming weeks. Thank you for joining us.